You hear how quiet it is? That's how quiet it usually is here. But now that I'm starting to talk, I'm expecting that's going to change. I have Rocky Valentine out here with me this morning. Thank you. Just got notification. We went live with Coffee with the Critters. So Rocky is above my head, and the water dish is right above my head. So I'm sure I am standing in the danger zone or sitting in the danger zone. So good morning, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Coffee with the Critters. My name is Laura Joseph, owner of the Animal Behavior Center. We're an international educational center where we teach people all over the world via our live streams how to empower animals and the people that care for them. Yay, so you got notification, huh? Good morning, Julie, Susie, Tim, Daphne, Shelley, Jim, which will be on with us in September. Quentin, Kelly. Yes, good morning, everybody. I've got a lot to cover today. And I sent out an email newsletter, I believe it was last week, and I'm going to be training during this episode, so I'm going to be standing up and moving around. Hi. I'm going to be doing a lot of training during this episode for your sanity, yours. What was I saying? I knew I was going to forget. Anyways, I sent out an email newsletter last week on this topic, why we don't rely on the word no and using no reward markers. The reason I chose to have this episode is because it can be a controversial topic. I've seen that because I posted it a while ago on the Animal Behavior Center's Facebook page, and wow, did it get a rise. But that's how we learn. Sometimes we learn through, it was a very engaging post. There was a lot of people disagreeing with me. There was a lot of people agreeing with me. So I was like, let's have this as a topic for Coffee with the Critters. So good morning, Blorian over there in Taiwan. Hey, Yvette, Diane. My hair. Yeah, this is my pool hair. So I plan on being in the pool possibly later today, so I didn't do much with it. Okay, we have done a lot here in the past week. So for those of you that might not be familiar with the work that we do, and speaking of not being familiar with the work that we do, it was kind of funny because when I say we're an international educational center, the word international, good morning, Jennifer, is what I focus on because our services aren't just locally. And I was asked here locally, Milo, I was asked locally to give a presentation this past week by the president-elect for the Sylvania Rotary. So I gave a presentation and the room was full and I stood up. So this is locally. It was held probably about 4 miles from my house. What? Hello. And we are on one of the busiest streets in the city of Sylvania and Toledo. And I stood up there and gave my presentation. And before I started, I said, who here has heard of the Animal Behavior Center? And one person raised their hand. And I said, there's a reason. Our business is international and we don't advertise locally. I said I'm going to be training a lot during this presentation. So I don't usually advertise particularly locally unless we have a local event, which is very few and far between, and we do have one next week. So for those of you that might be new to our work, this is our website. And speaking of our website, we're supposed to have our new website, which we've been working on since February. It's supposed to be launched tomorrow. And it's pretty cool. We have several different people working on it. And several of our followers might be included in it. So for those of you that want to reach me, you can reach me at my email address, my personal email address, which is Lara, Lara, at theanimalbehaviorcenter.com. Good. Hang on. I answer all my personal emails. Hey, Sylvia, I'll be seeing several of you guys soon. Hey, Debbie. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. I've arranged things this morning a little differently. And if anybody here may want the opportunity to come on this live stream with me, let me know. Good morning, Therese. Good morning, Karen. There's several people on here who we'll be seeing very soon in a couple upcoming workshops. Hi, hang on. So I left in kind of a hurry yesterday. What you're seeing is I'm taking advantage of what has happened as a result of leaving in a hurry. So instead of putting, speak of the devil, instead of putting Sunshine's food in his foraging toys, I instead put him in his dish. And he ate them all so quickly, which is one of the main reasons why I don't like to put him in his dish. He ate them all so quickly, his food so quickly, and so now he's really hungry this morning. Hi. So I'm feeding him his main form of nutrition throughout the day. And I have some other food here that I'll be feeding him. We'll see if temperature is a reinforcer or a punisher. Okay, so Florian says some people think the concept "don't say no" is very interesting. Some people just think it's just like how we teach our human children. And what we focus on here is not necessarily the species, because I train numerous species. I focus on the laws of behavior and how it's applicable across species, including humans, because it is the laws. These are the laws of behavior. Those of you that follow the work that we do know that we train numerous species of animals. I primarily like, but am not limited to, working with exotics. And that's where I fine-tune my skills, because some of these animals that I'm working with can really hurt you, if not kill you. So there's little room for error, and you definitely don't want to frustrate some of these animals. If you do, and it's not that saying using the word no doesn't work. There's several different factors of using aversives to control behavior. One of them is aggression, increased aggression. I am not going to tell him no or force him to do certain things. Once in a great while, we have to force here. Once in a very great while. And when we'll use force is when the consequence of not using it is worse. But if we have to force an animal to do something, such as put our arm in front of it to tell it this is not an option, then we say, note to self, hi, this needs training. Because if we don't train it, The alternative is going to be a lot worse and usually a lot more stressful for the animal. So I'm feeding Milo, the mini pig here, Sunshine, working with him. I do believe I have a turkey vulture on the other side of the door. So this past week, and I'm jumping ahead of myself, but this past week, I was working with numerous animals. And in level 2, we live stream a lot of that. I was working on recall training 3 alligators, and it went beautiful. We had a crowd sitting there watching us, and all the hair was standing up on my arms. That is an animal I do not want to tell no or force it to do something. I worked with 2 lemurs in an enclosure that we're going to be working with in our upcoming zoo workshop, which, by the way, has been sold out. So thank you very much. And the cool thing is, that workshop sold out in a week. And every single person that reserved a spot is either a level 1 or level 2 member. That's a compliment to me. And the work we do here. So I'm going to fine tune all the attendees' approaches because we're going to be working with numerous species, and I'm going to be right there just watching and sharing. And we're going to do a lot of group talking approaches, application, sit down, reevaluate, go back, apply again. And it's going to be very hands-on. So anyways, this past week I trained some bears. I was training rabbits. I was training goats. What else was I training? Some African pied crows. If I tell a lot of the animals here, if I were to tell a lot of, maybe I should have done something with my hair today. If I were to tell a lot of the animals here, no, I'm not going to like the behaviors I'm going to see as a consequence. And those can come in the form of a bite, a lunge, a growl, running away from me, flying away from me. I'm not going to see behaviors I want to see maintain or increase, progress as fast. So Quentin says, recalling gators has to be easy. I'm sure they want to eat you any time of the day. Here's the cool thing, though, is something, Quentin, has punished the behavior of them coming when we cue them to us as fast as possible. And we're still evaluating, but we're thinking one of the punishers is the large crowd of people. It's myself and another trainer. So we're like, we've seen over the past month the rate at which they come to us when we cue them has gone down. And so we're using applied behavior analysis, using environmental events to control behavior. We're rearranging the environment to see what exactly is it that has caused this rate of behavior to decrease. And the only thing, through moving to different areas outside the gator enclosure, we are thinking it's a large group of people. So what we did this last week, and it was phenomenal. It was so cool to see. As this large group of people were standing behind myself and Brian, the other trainer that I'm helping train. Is if you want people to do something and not do something, give them information. So I stood up and told them exactly what they were getting ready to see. And I asked them to stand very still. And why? Hi. And they did. And you know what happened? When we cued them, and their cue is 3 taps of a metal food dispenser, 1, 2, 3, on the side of a metal gate. And what we saw were 3 gators' heads, eyes, come out of the water. And then we sat there and we waited, and we'd let them observe the environment. So then we sat and waited, and I turned around and asked everybody just to be as still as possible. And they understood why. So they wanted to do it. We gave them information. So the information we gave them was the reinforcer for the behavior. And I reinforced their behavior of standing still by letting them see what happened next. So we gave them a couple of seconds, and then we cued them 1, 2, 3 again. And what you saw were 3 gators come up out of the pond and start approaching. Approaching the side, right, approaching the side of the enclosure. Peekaboo! It was so cool to see. But then once they got up there, trying to identify reinforcers behind me. Once they got up there, one is a little more food aggressive. And what that means is when he's in close proximity to seeing the other 3 or the other 2 get food, good. He lunges at and nips the other gators, which I'm like, okay, I want to see that behavior decrease, because what we saw as a consequence is there's one gator that's my favorite. I have no idea what his name is, but I've been training him for a couple of years, is when they do this like deep guttural rumble. And he opens his mouth and he goes at the other gators. That positively punishes the behavior of the other 2 gators staying right where I want them. So we're in the beginning stages of teaching them a station, because Brian and I are getting ready to go into their enclosure. Off contact, primarily. And I have some photos for you. I'm not really sure how I would tell an alligator no. I don't want to tell an alligator no. So I don't want to tell an alligator no, because I know some of the side effects that I'll see would be, I know animals don't learn as fast for being told what not to do versus being reinforced for what to do. That is a fact. So why would I even incorporate the word no? There's something else called a no reward marker. I had never heard of that until like a year or so ago. And I was just like, what is a no reward marker? And I'm thinking in my head, it must be some kind of cue signal that is incorporated into the training, I'm assuming in association with a positive reinforcer. I want the alligator to come and stay here, bridge, reinforce. The alligator starts moving. If that's not what I want it to do, I'm assuming that no reward marker would be some kind of cue, like I'm not going to do that. And I'm going to tell you why. But I was thinking about this, and I do use negative punishment, which means a temporary timeout from positive reinforcement. That could be considered a no reward marker. If I'm going to use that, good. I am not going to keep using it, which is I'm standing in front of an animal, asking an animal to do something. It does something else. So I just drop my hand. It could be numerous ways of using a negative punisher. I just drop my hands for a couple of seconds before I cue it again to let it learn the contingency. That is not the behavior. That behavior is not going to earn you a reinforcer. If I'm going to use negative punishment, I try my hardest not to use it because good. I'll use it once. But I was talking to a BCBA, Joel Vidovic, who's awesome, who's been a guest on here. He had asked me when the Autism Model School brought their staff here for a workshop. Good. He had asked me, how many times in one training session do you use a negative punisher? And I told him once, maybe twice. If I see the need for me to use it a third time, I need to end the training session and reevaluate my approach, because consistently using a negative punisher, such as just nothing, well, not nothing, the withholding of the positive reinforcer for a behavior that you don't want, that can cause frustration. And if I'm sitting in front of Micaiah the macaque and he's giving me behavior and I reinforce, he gives me another behavior and I do nothing. So he'll start experimenting with the environment and probably give me the same behavior again. If I do nothing again, I can see it causing confusion, frustration. I see you. Confusion, frustration, and it'll probably end up with a lunge and a swipe. If I have if I'm using a negative punisher more than once, I'm going through in my head, well, if I use it once, I'm going through in my head as fast as possible. Okay, the animal may not be understanding. Maybe I'm taking too big of steps in my shaping process, which is likely. So then I'll redirect, ask another behavior that it already knows how to do, so I can give it the positive reinforcer in the training session, which could be a cause for frustration and increase undesired behaviors. And reevaluate my approach. When I was in training these two lemurs the other day, they are young and they were boom, 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 bouncing all over the place. I was live streaming this in level 2, and this is what happened. These two were moving so much faster than I was thinking. Like I could see them. They were standing on their back feet. And I'm standing here with the food pouch right here. And I'm like, if I don't start asking them to do other behaviors fast enough or give a bigger reinforcer to occupy time, undesired behaviors are going to start happening. And that's exactly what happened. I'm standing there and I'm training and I'm reinforcing and asking them to go to different places. And they're standing here below me, looking up, reaching with their hands. And what I don't want is their hands up like this. Because if their hands are up here like this, I know what's going to happen next. They're going to start coming after me. And if they accidentally reach that treat bag and earn a reinforcer, they just learned that that behavior works. So I'm standing here and I'm trying to ask them both to do, and I am actually literally moving this fast. And then all of a sudden I took a couple seconds in my head thinking, what do I want to do next? And the one jumped up right on my treat pouch. That is not where I want him to be. So I tried to throw a reinforcer at a distance to get him off my treat pouch without me having to force him off the treat pouch. Good. But since I threw a reinforcer after he jumped here, he may learn, hey, this worked once, let's do it again. So that's all timing. So the next time, as he got closer, I learned from my mistakes. I make mistakes, and I just make sure I learn from them. As he started getting closer again, I reinforced for another behavior before he could even get this close to me. I don't want that jumping on my treat bag happening a second time, because if it happens a second time, it's being reinforced. Peekaboo rock. So we're sitting here in the animal training, we're in the animal room. Very funny. 4 cockatoos, a blue-fronted Amazon, a mini pig, and that is it today. We're getting ready to bring in a couple more animals for this fall and throughout the winter, and you may see them on here. I've talked about, let me start throwing, because I'm getting way ahead of myself, and I'd like to hear some feedback from you. Hey, Nicole, good to see ya. And Chris. Quentin says, who's in the Parrot Project and flourishing well with Peyton, his blue-fronted Amazon. And it's really cool to watch your training, Quentin, because Peyton's understanding. He's getting it. Quentin says, during close proximity training, we have recently moved to outside the cage training this week, and Peyton is now taking the treat without lunging and is comfortable with me standing beside him while he's eating his reinforcer. And that is fabulous. And this is what we do in our memberships, in our projects. Level 1 membership. Let me skip through here. Our Level 1 membership is more for companion animals. Includes a lot of stuff. Our Level 2 is more for people who want a lot more interaction and are usually in the field of animal training or behavior or board certified behavior analysts. Quentin is in the Parrot Project, which I believe is right there. Yeah. Where he's while he's recording what he's doing with Peyton, and I sit there and watch, because you can tell me what behaviors are happening. Hi. But when you use a label such as he's afraid, in the memberships or projects, what you're going to hear me say is, what does afraid look like? So show me a video. They show the video and I sit there and watch, and I will either live stream my review of their video, or I just say, right here, right after you did this, boom, look for this, do this faster. And Quentin has been making a lot of progress in the past week with Peyton because of that. So thank you. Then Julie says, I love the Level 1 membership. And Julie, I am going to be getting in touch with you here shortly. Yeah, so our memberships and our projects have really been skyrocketing this past month. Subscriptions and resubscriptions. So I thank you all for that. A couple of things let's talk a little bit more about this, because I want to show you. Here's the photo of Brian and I training the alligators. So Brian and I are getting ready to go in. So what I'm doing, just like I do with Sunshine right here, and I've got some photos for you, I'm watching behavior. I'm getting ready to do some live streams on this in the levels and the Parrot project. But before I go into an enclosure, I need several behaviors trained outside of the enclosure via protective contact or off contact. The behaviors that are going to be beneficial to me that I need the animal to already know and understand before I go into the enclosure, such as a nose target. Targeting is huge and can really help you get complex behaviors. And targeting is so much more than nose or beak to the end of a stick. And we're going to be doing a lot of this in our 2 upcoming workshops, the zoo workshop, which is sold out, and our workshop the 2nd week in October with Dr. Deb Jones. If you're here training with me, I'm going to make sure you get the most out of why you came here. I'm going to be standing right beside you watching because applied behavior analysis is observable and measurable behavior versus what you think is going on in here. Like I just said, that's right, Rob. I believe it was this morning in level 2. I was discussing something with Shelly because in our memberships and projects right now, we are talking about labels in our podcast. Labels, how likely adjectives, such as cute, dangerous, aggressive, describing behavior, labels. The problem with labels is you can tell me that animal's aggressive. First things out of my mouth, all the members know what's going to be said, is the first thing out of my mouth is going to be, what does aggressive look like? Tell me what it looks like. Show me what it looks like. Because when I see something like, yours truly over here. Hi, what are you doing down here, Pipsqueak? I love you so much. This is what I told Shelly this morning in level 2. The behavior such as cute, or not behavior, label, could be, is what does cute mean? What does cute look like? You know, I'm going to ask you so many details. And what I told Shelly this morning is one of my favorites, my favorite saying. It's harsh, kind of harsh, harsh for me, but very effective. And the power is in the statement. I always say, cute can get you killed. So be careful. Hey, Julianne, another member. Be careful the labels you use. Do I use them? Yes. Such as the label, that's funny. What does funny look like? One time a volunteer here said, oh, look, Willie's playing. Willie is the education turkey vulture that comes here for training from Nature's Nursery Wildlife Rehab Center in White House, Ohio. I was standing like somewhere sitting right around here, and she was looking out the front window, and she goes, oh, look, Willie's playing. And my ears perked up, and I looked at her, and I said, what? Wait, let me see this behavior. And what I was seeing was not playing. What I was seeing was something that is going to get somebody very hurt if you get in close proximity. So be careful with those labels. Does that make sense? Let me scroll through here. Shannon says, I want to do a training. I have 3 cockatoos. Shannon, get in the Parrot Project. I'm telling you, we got several people in here. Katie says, the Parrot Project and all the years I've run things past Laura is objectively. I can tell you, oh, this is why or what, but when it comes to my own birds, I get such tunnel vision. Katie, post it, videos in the Parrot Project, all right? That's how I can see, I need to see behavior, okay? And I can help you. And sometimes I don't get behaviors that I want, and I'll be like, oh, what is going on? And I'm getting ready to upload this in level 2 because I need some outside eyes helping. Good. Because I'm stuck. Coco, what are you doing? Okay. So, Melissa says, everyone out in the world says how cute and sweet Fox is. I just think you don't live with them. Yeah, I know. Sometimes people here will say, oh, Sunshine is so cute. And I'm like, don't let that sweet hi or hello lure you into false sense of security. Because I know we are trying to put that hello here on cue. That means I want something, or have you noticed he is on his station? We only deliver the reinforcer. He has several stations, but he knows that's where he needs to go. And we're working on modifying the screen on that station. And through training. And what we're seeing is a lot other behaviors, and he's starting to vocalize more. So anyways, yeah. Okay, so, here's another label. A lot of times when people come here, I mean, we are closed, except for by appointment only on purpose. Like the lawn guy knows that when Willie flies along the center as he's mowing outside, that's not necessarily like, and I want to play. Okay, our gutter guy came here one time and said, I know you said the vulture chases me around while I'm on the outside of the center, and to be cautious of that and never come into the center. He goes, but I think she really likes me because she follows me everywhere. I was like, oh, just make sure you stay on the outside of the center, because if you were to come in, she's going to follow you all right. She might be doing some target training too, and you're not going to like what that feels like. So let me see what other photos. I had a couple other photos here. Hi. So if I got Milo here at my feet and I'm reinforcing with the strawberry, some that are getting a little old, when he does. Studies show animals learn faster, good, when you reinforce or the behaviors you want to see maintain or increase versus using an aversive to tell them what not to do. So I'm doing that here this morning with Sunshine. When he gives me a behavior, hi, hello, anything that's desirable by me and beneficial to the two of us living together is what I reinforce. When he gives an undesired behavior, so far this morning, I've used extinction. This is called differential reinforcement. Shaping is differential reinforcement. I'm using extinction. It's a schedule of reinforcement, and it's also known as ignoring. But I do not use ignoring alone because that doesn't give the animal information and can actually reinforce the undesired behavior and reinforce other undesired behaviors. Hi! If I were to use a no reward marker, like a verbal no reward marker with sunshine, which could be, no, I don't care what it is. I could go like this, walk away. I'm just trying to think of something very obvious. I've used negative punishment, but I'll use it once and reevaluate my training plan. If I were to use some type of no reward marker with sunshine, I would guess, that I'm going to actually reinforce some frustration. And what does frustration look like? Probably a lot more of his ARBs. When he wants something really bad, he hangs on the side of the cage, and I can't even do it because I'd give myself whiplash. But he goes back and forth with his head really fast. That's usually, I see something I want, I can't get to it, and then you hear the frustration. Observe, what does frustration look like? An observable and measurable behavior, I just described it. And that's what we focus on in applied behavior analysis. Okay, just looking through. Yeah, that's why we had a very popular company, which I'm sure everybody has heard of, that shows a lot of cute, funny videos. Contact us this week. And a lot of people would say, oh my gosh, if this company contacted you, that could be so huge for you. I responded with, and I knew if I responded with this, they would likely not contact me again. I responded with, they wanted to use some of my videos, and I believe it was with yours truly. No, it was Rico. On my hand through the center going, woo, woo. They asked if they could use some of our videos. While giving us credit. They are known for their videos to go viral. Oop, I'm sorry. So my response was, are you familiar with our mission statement? Because if you are, maybe they're just really taking their time and reviewing our mission statement, but I highly doubt it because they're probably used to people saying yes immediately. Because attention is a huge reinforcer for social creatures such as ourselves. That's why Facebook is so popular. Immediacy. I got that like. That's not necessarily what we're about. We're not necessarily about attention. I need to make sure people clearly understand our mission statement here. Thank you, Katie. If we said yes, our video would have been in another video that would have been viral. I have no doubt, but do our mission statements align? Okay, because, like I said, many people would have said yes because attention is a huge reinforcer. So, something else I'd like to talk about. We don't have to use the word no. We may put something on cue, and I don't use the word no because I see animals learn faster for what you want them to do. Instead, that's going to earn reinforcement, and reinforcement is so much more than food. Good. Look at Coco Pop. What is he doing strutting your stuff? Attention as a reinforcer. He has learned this through observation. If you can see him on the floor. This is what we teach Rico, it's gonna get really loud. Nice job, Coco. Yeah, nice job, Rico. Woo-hoo! Lay reinforcer over here. So Coco has started picking up toys at the bottom of his enclosure and tossing them. We've been reinforcing that on a continuous schedule of reinforcement, meaning every single time to the best of our ability, because when I'm shaping a behavior, it is usually on a continuous schedule of reinforcement, even if I have to capture it. Yahoo! Nice job! I see you. Rocky, you're so cute. Yeah, but what I was saying, I just got water on my head. Rocky's over there. When animals learn behaviors through observing others, it's a sign of higher intelligence. I would say divine intelligence. That is in studies, and I see that all the time with birds, parrots. Rocky has learned behavior through observation. Coco was learning that he is learning to toss a toy. I mean, we saw it the first time and we're like, oh my gosh, Coco is doing a behavior, which is cool. I shouldn't be so surprised, but it's really cool when you see it happen. Coco is doing a behavior that we haven't taught him intentionally, but he's learned it through watching Rico. Rico's replacement behavior for screaming for attention is go to the ground and toss a toy. We'll use differential reinforcement with that as well. But here, Kim Wendy on here, level 2 member. You sure don't want to be paired with something that's opposite of your mission statement. Yeah, so I'm likely not going to be on that video that went viral. So hopefully we can make our videos go viral on our own, like the one with Rocky the other day doing the touch. That one's getting a lot of shares. That was really cool to see. Good. If I have to use force, so using force could be a form of no, meaning I'm restraining you, I'm restricting you. You're trying to escape? No, that is not a possibility right now. Escape from me or escape from whatever you're in a crate. In a crate with the door shut and an animal obviously going around, reaching, trying to get out, that is a huge, big, fat no consistently over and over again. I won't do that as far as crate training. But if I have to use force and restraint, which does happen here, I'm going to get water on my head again, which does happen here occasionally. It's because the consequence of using something else is worse, all right? But like I said, water on my head, because he's moving around on the play gym. Like I said, if I have to use force or an aversive to control behavior, nice job. What was that? I will say, note to self, this needs training. Give you an example. Using attention as a reinforcer, what behavior am I trying to reinforce and am reinforcing? I gotta go feed a cockatoo. It's job, son of bunny. Got a pig in my feet. Obviously, because I've been. Oh, did that scare you? What's a strawberry? Why wouldn't a pig be at my feet? I've been delivering reinforcement there. example of an area where I've used force is when it comes time for Coco's nail trims, okay? Coco's been with us not even 3 years yet. Coco's an older bird, and I've had to towel him, I would say at least 8 times, to trim his nails. Because what I see is his nails get so long they start curving. And he can't fly because he just can't. Peekaboo, that when he gets scared, he's trying to climb away from something, such as the broom, on the side of the cage bars, his nails get stuck. So we've gone and used force and toweled him and trimmed all his nails, and he struggles, and I'm not comfortable with that. Why? Yes, we could have trained that a lot sooner, but we didn't because the amount of animals that we have, we were training a lot of other behaviors that we thought were more important at the time. And to towel him when we had to, it was a major aversive. It was using positive punishers, which we try to stay far away from. But the alternative of not getting his nails trimmed were worse. He could actually do some bodily harm to himself. So I was nervous about continuing to do this because the amount of stress that I saw, heavy breathing, clicking in the chest, his amount of squirming and this noise that he makes. Then I know he's an older bird. And I said, we need to train this and soon. And we need to prioritize which behaviors are now of most importance. So I've recorded it all. And I'll be uploading it into the Parrot Project because we're covering so many topics in the Parrot Project that I can't live stream as much as I want a day. I will overload everybody. But we're there. He is now accepting the Dremel on all 4 toes, and he will let me get in there with a nail file. There is no longer a need for me to have to towel him and restrain him. Okay. Once this live stream is over, I do go back. Give me time today because I'm the only one here today. So when I'm the only one here today, I'm training, working, got the dogs out, the pig, the vulture, the parrots. I do go back and answer everybody's questions because there's so much I haven't even covered yet because this is one, okay? Doesn't matter the animal. I'm talking about behavior. All right. So keep your animals used to change. You can shape their acceptance of change because when you don't have change, it's usually we try not to get stuck in routines. When you get stuck in routines, when that routine is broken, you will see stress. You will likely, well, maybe not. A lot of people don't understand what they're seeing is what I'm observing. Such as abnormal repetitive behaviors. A lot of people think that's play. When I hear that's play, I'm like, what does play look like? Because what I'm seeing is stress. And you can use observable, measurable behavior through measuring heartbeat, okay? Cortisol level. Those are things you can't necessarily see that can be measurable. Behaviors are contextual. If you find yourself in a situation where you need to use the word no, just think. And it's hard to not use the word no because as B.F. Skinner stated, coercion is the main form of behavior control today. if you find yourself in a situation where you say no, you've already said no, this is what I tell people in the memberships. Instead of saying the word no, what else could you have done? The reinforcer behind saying the word no for many people is its history of working in the past. Saying the word no often teaches or tells the animal, I can't do this now, but I can do it when she leaves. And it's not as strong as using positively reinforcing alternate behavior. Hey, Coco. So when you find yourself using the word no, think, how else could I have obtained this behavior? And hopefully the reinforcer is going to be when you see it work. The number one reason I train animals, is to empower them. And I see it change and empower the people that care for them. I love working with people who love working for the better future of animals. Hey, nice job. So in this photo, keep your animals used to change. We got Sunshine out. Sunshine is the bird that's here for training from Best Friends Animal Society in Kanab, Utah, and Sunshine is up for adoption. He's been here less than 2 years. He's the bird that will bite skin and launch himself at you as soon as he can. We are now getting him out on this play stand and on a rolling play stand as of this week. So there's Lindsay Douglas. I need to control the environment. So we allowed nobody else in here. And Lindsay and I were interacting with Sunshine from a distance. But I also got this behavior. Oh man, you can't really see it. Let me take myself out of here for a second. How'd you like that little piece of quiet? So Sunshine is on this perch, and I am delivering reinforcement with a spoon that's that long. Okay? And how I'm doing that is by trying my best to continually reinforce calm behavior. I want your eyes on whatever's in that spoon, not me or where you're planning on going. So using the word no can cause a lot of fear, frustration, apathy, overgeneralized fear response, meaning we show feared responses to other things in the environment that are paired with the time the event happens. So I'm here to tell you today, I was actually supposed to have Frank Reese on from Blue Zoo Radio. Frank Reese has interviewed us numerous times. He also, Blue Zoo TV came here last week to do a couple of segments, which you're going to see. I will post here on the Animal Behavior Center. And I'm going to get Frank Reese back on, hopefully not next weekend because we got something going on here. I need to ask Therese if she would like to do Coffee with the Critters with me next week. We have the Sam I Can Foundation, our first fundraiser event here at the center next Saturday. If you're local or in the tri-state area, Ohio, Michigan, Indiana, take a look at this event. It's a fundraiser for our Sam I Can Foundation, the nonprofit. It's how Sunshine got here for training. And we're having a sandal making event next week and a very rare opportunity to see the inside of the Animal Behavior Center. And yes, Shelly, I will see you here next weekend. I want to thank you for your trust in our work here and in having this zoo workshop sell out in a week. And it's an honor to know that everybody that signed up for it, that had the chance, were level 1 and level 2 members. So that tells me you are enjoying the content within level 2 and level 1, and you want to be here for more. And I'd say half of those people that are coming have been here for numerous other workshops. So that gives me information, and thank you. We will have another one of these zoo workshops. If you're interested, join our email newsletter list. Shoot me an email at laura@theanimalbehaviorcenter.com. Our 2-day workshop with Dr. Deb Jones is happening in less than 2 months, the second weekend in October. We will have numerous different species of animals here for that, and I'm working right now on bringing 1 or 2 in, different ones. Pet Professional Guild has just recently announced the speaker lineup for the next summit and workshop they will be holding at Best Friends out in Kanab, Utah. And I will be presenting again. Thank you. I will be training more than parrots too. And I will be giving the last presentation of that week at the final dinner. So that's an honor. Thank you. Sam, I wanted to mention, okay, this is why you should stick around for the whole episode. The Sam I Can Foundation. What is that? It's the nonprofit started in Sam's honor that helps educate people along the way through telling stories. Anyways, I ordered a shirt. I accidentally ordered the wrong size. It's an extra large. If somebody would like this, I can ship it to you for how much it costs. I can't remember how much it costs, but it's too big for me. This is men's extra large. I meant to order a men's large. So if you are interested in an extra large, let me know. I'll get that to you. Our referral program. For every 5 people that join our membership or our project, behavior change here, I'm not going to interact. For every 5 people that join our memberships or projects through your referral, earns you a free 1-hour online consultation with George Truitt. Hey, thanks, Myla. Next, the Save the Date announcement has been posted for the C4AW Collaboration for Avian Wellness, the second weekend in November outside of Chicago, Illinois. We're expecting it very large, and anybody that has seen me present, I love engaging with the audience. I love engaging with people as they're walking down the hallway. I'm a very interactive person. I will be very interactive with all the attendees that come that weekend. So mark your calendar and go to c4aw.org for more information. Thank you, Shannon, for sharing. Yeah. That's right, Rocky. We just started a Work For It Wednesday in level 1, where we post all of our enrichment ideas and videos. Hi, Rocky. I love Rocky. I love you. I love. Hi, guys. Rocky. Usually we dance to this. Peekaboo to you. I love you so much. I love you, baby. This is a bird that was going to be put to sleep for his behaviors labeled as aggressive. Peekaboo. Now on 8 different national commercials. Point taken. Okay. Our podcasts are extremely engaging. People that are in our memberships love the podcast, and we're getting ready to have a couple different activities in level 1 and level 2 in regards to the podcast. Learning on the go. Yeah, there's Frank Reese's son here from Blue Zoo TV. That you'll be seeing here shortly. And there's the alligators, our projects. You can sign up for those. Extremely popular, level 1 and level 2. And bam, there you go. How do you like that? Thank you for joining. What are you doing, Sunshine? Man, you are actively foraging. This is fabulous. Thank you for joining another episode of Coffee with the Critters. I have a topic coming up that may be very controversial, and I'm out searching and researching different people to help co-host me presenting this to you. If you liked this episode of Coffee with the Critters, please share, Message me anything you would like. Post it here. Give me a couple hours. I'll respond to all your comments. Thank you, everybody. Hi. You want to say bye? Can you wave to him? Say bye. He's like, I only know how to say hi. Can you say hi? You say hi. You're getting all fluffy. Lucky. All right, guys. See you next weekend for Coffee with the Critters. Have a great week. See you later. Thanks, Ray.